So Bruzel was out here. I wanted to check it out for myself. It's only about 30 minutes from the house. So here I am. Let's take a look. Hello everyone, my name is Derek. Welcome to the Bourbon Table. I've got a bourbon tour, shelf tour for you for Joe Canals in Princeton, New Jersey. This is the spot that Bruzel recently visited a couple weeks ago. There's some things in there he did not show you that I am going to show you. All right, so let's jump right into it. This is, when you walk in the store, this is their store picks. This is the stuff that Bruzel didn't get into. So we'll start right at the top here. Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond. You know, around these parts, it's not really special. You can find it everywhere. But what is special is that price at $46. In PA, it's going for $49.99, and I've seen it going for higher elsewhere in Jersey. So that's an awesome price. Next, we're going to look over here. We'll start here on this Buffalo Trace Distillery rack that's got no Buffalo Trace on it at all. That's okay. The first thing there at the top is a Ridgemont Reserve. It's got two prices on it. The $49.99 is their regular price. The $45.99 is what they call their bottle club. There's no charge to join this club. You just give them an email and a phone number. And they don't really send me a whole lot of stuff. Actually, I don't remember sending me anything. So you just join the club for free. Going down, you see the Four Roses Single Barrel, $120. That's about $10 higher than I've been seeing it. I don't remember the recipe on this one. Below that, you have a Bottle and Bond store pick. Don't know the price on that one. Probably in the $55 to $60 range. I didn't pick that one up because I already have one. To the Angels Envy store pick, $90. Again, Bottle Club is $80. I'm only going to read the Bottle Club price if there is one there, so that we don't have to go through this during the whole video. Next is the Elijah Craig store pick, $85. I don't know if $85 is great. It's okay. Then you've got your Uncle Nearest store pick, $86. I didn't get that one either because I have one. And then next to it, you see there's a Woodford Reserve store pick for $49.99. That's a good price for a store pick, and it actually gets cheaper in the aisle, which I'll show you. And then we have a store pick Bullet barrel strength there for $55. I already have that, so I didn't get that. I really should have picked up the Woodford, and I probably will if it's still there next time. All right, moving along there, we have the Rittenhouse store pick for $33, actually cheaper than the regular Rittenhouse, so that's a good deal. And then you see the Old Forester for $99.99, their store pick. I have two of those already, didn't get that. As I said, there's the Elijah Craig. I didn't get that. Moving across, here's some more store picks. I like that little sign they have in there. If you see it right there, it says, "If something here offends you, please let us know. We could use a good laugh." They have a good sense of humor over there. So you see on the left, there is the Woodford Reserve Double Oak, their store pick. That's $70. Right next to that is the Jefferson's Ocean Single Barrel store pick. Haven't been into Jefferson's Ocean. The good thing about Joe Canals is they offer samples of their store picks. I might try it next time, and we'll see. And then there's the Jefferson's Reserve, also $70. Moving across, there is the Smoke Wagon, their rye store pick for $75. That seems like an okay price. And that is their store picks. Now we're going to move into their shelves. At the end, they have their case with all their expensive stuff. We'll get into that, at the end. Basil Hayden, Usual Suspects. Again, I said this on my last shelf tour. The 10-year, 80 proof in PA, that's $75. It's not worth $75. It's certainly not worth $85. But if you're into Basil Hayden, there you go. Off to the right there, you see a Blade and Bow for $50. Haven't gotten into Blade and Bow. Don't know if that's a good price or not. Next shelf, you see a Baker 7 there for $69. That's kind of, I think, what it's running at, unfortunately. Next to that is the Augusta Old Route 8. One of the surprising good bottles this year that was unexpected. I did pick that up. You can see there it's $118, Bottle Club. Boone County, I don't know about. And then we get into barrels. Before I talk about the barrels, though, I just want to mention one thing, that this liquor store, Joe Canals, you can see there's missing some price labels. You'll also see the shelves are kind of a little bit in disarray, things pushed around. So they don't have a whole lot of shelf integrity with these bottles. But when you're bourbon hunting, you're going to look at stuff anyway, so I'm okay with it. I'll do my best to make sure that I try and get you the pricing. In the barrel stuff there, they only have the price on the Dovetail. It looks like they actually sold one. Interesting that they sold one of the only one that's priced. So you see across there, they have the Dovetail, the Seagrass, Batch 36, Vantage, and it looks like the Cask Finish series with Mizunara. That's the other one there. Moving down, you got the Angels Envy store pick, again, 80 bucks. Bib and Tucker, I'm not into. Here's Beacon, I've never heard of, $63. I couldn't tell you if that's good or bad. If you know Beacon, leave a comment down below, let me know. Bernheim Wheat Whiskey, that's not a bourbon, $31, seems like a good price. Bowman Brothers, right there for $35. I wouldn't get it here. In PA, again, it's $32.99. Slide across there, you can see the John J. Bowman, which I already have, or else I would have picked that up. We got a top floor for $17. I cut off the price, and I can't remember the price of that John J. Bowman, but they're so hard to find, it's probably worth it, as long as the price is under 70 bucks. This stuff down here is all the bottom shelfers. I'm not going to get into all that. I just want to say here that you see at the bottom how I kind of cut off a shelf in the picture. That's only because that bottom shelf is not for retail sale. That's all back stock that they use to fill the higher shelves. So there's no prices. The stuff is just kind of thrown down there in no particular order. So I just cut it off. All right. Next shelf over. We're going to right to the top. There's Booker's. They have batch 1 and batch 3 this year. Looks like they're both $105. They should be $99.99. But Joe Canal's getting a couple dollars extra on there. Breckenridge, I'm not super into, so I couldn't tell you about that. One of the things that Joe Canals does is they got a lot of shelf talkers, those little cards that they have on the shelves to give you some more information, try and move the product, which is useful. I appreciate that. The Bacta, I haven't tried that. I've heard some good things. You've got the Armagnac Cask Finish, which I heard is really good at $130, but I did not pick it up, and then you got a straight rye. If you've had the Bacta, do me a favor, leave a comment. I feel like I want to try that based on the stuff that I've heard, but it's not super clear, particularly at $130. So let me know. Next to that, you got the Calumets for $68 and $120. The 15 for $120, I think that's about what it's going for. Probably not a special price. You got some Castle and Key there, which is not really blowing the doors off. You've got some Cream of Kentucky, probably the cask strength. Is it worth $110? You tell me. All right, moving down, you got the Benchmarks, the usual suspects there. Full proofs, I've got. Small batch, I don't. You also have the single barrel here, which I should have picked up now that I think about it. Brothers Bond, I don't know a whole lot about. Asbury Park Distilling, this liquor store's in Princeton, New Jersey. Asbury Park is in New Jersey, but I don't know much about it. Bakshi, I don't know. 15 stars. This is one of those, and there's a lot like this, where I haven't heard anything bad about it. I've heard some things that are okay to good, but nothing great, nothing that's spectacular that has me interested in throwing out $126 just to try it for myself. So I won't until I hear more about it or until I can get a pour somewhere. Moving down, you got your bullet stuff down here, single malt, the 10-year, the single barrel, the 95 rye. And then over here, you can see, it looks like one bottle, maybe there's another one back there, of the Bullet 12, which I have, which is really good. That was $55. That's probably what it should go for. That's what it's going for here in Pennsylvania. That's a good price. All right, let's move on. The next section of shelves. All right, we're going to start small batch, $32.99. That's what it's selling for here. You got the handle there. Next to that, you got the Bottle and Bond. I already have that, so I didn't get it. What was sitting next to that, which was the only one of those bottles on the shelf, is the single barrel, and that's $54. I picked that up. They do have it in the locked case, but this was the only one out of the case. The Hemingway, $69. I hear good things, but again, I'd want to taste it, or I'd want to hear great things before I spend 70 bucks. The Hughes Belle of Bedford, that's a really cool label, but hard to read. That's $83. However, I got it for $79 because it was priced wrong at a spot in the front of the store, so I got it for $79. That was cool. Their customer service was awesome. I told them the price. They said no problem right there at the register. They did a price override, $79. All right, you got the Henry McKenna 10-year for $67. There's the Heaven Hill for $46. Few Smashing Pumpkins for $40. I actually think that's a good price, although I don't know that much about that particular bottle. Four Roses, there's their single barrel for $120 again. They've got the handle on sale for $37, if that's your thing. Moving down, Elijah Craig. Their regular bottle of Elijah Craig is on sale for $29.99. That's a good price for the regular bottle. They've got the Series A124 for $74. That's about what it should be, maybe $1 or $2 cheaper than I've seen it. Their store pick, it's $85. And then the toasted is no price. There's some Dad's Hat over there. I don't have those two. I think the 90 proof for $33, I think that's actually a good price. And then you've got your bottom shelfers over here. The Evan Williams Bottle and Bond looks like it's $16.99. That's pretty good. It's not spectacular, but it's pretty good. All right, next section. We're going to go right to the top. There's a Black End, the Wes Anderson stuff. I'm not too interested in that, so I really grab it. But it is on sale for $80. So if that's your thing, okay, $80. Go down there and get it. The rest of that stuff is your Texas bourbons. They didn't have any Still Austin. No Still Austin there, but they had the Horse Soldier and they had the Garrison Brothers. We've got the Dickel for $30, the 8-year. Fox and Odin for $75, if that's your thing. Again, that's another one that's like nothing bad about it. I hear okay things, but do I want to spend $75 for something okay when I can spend it on something that I know is really, really good? Here's your High West stuff across the board. Their cast strength there, $57. The Campfire, polarizing, you love it or you hate it. And all the way over there to the right there, you see the Heaven's Door for $60. That's a store pick for them. Was thinking about that one. My uncle's favorite is Heaven's Door, and I had that with him and I really enjoyed it. We had bourbon and cigars out on the back patio and had an awesome time. So I was thinking about that as a store pick, but in my mind I'm thinking, do I get that? Do I get the 10-year? Do I get the cast strength? Do I get all the above? But that's definitely on my list of things to get. Down there you've got Hirsch, not a super fan of. Then you have Phoenix. I don't even know what that is. So if you know that, let me know. It looks like it's locally made. It's got 93 points, 96 points. They have both the rye and the bourbon. First I've heard of it, so let me know. Then you got the Old Ezra bourbon there. Some Dogfish Head, some Frank August. Down to the bottom, Shelfer stuff I'm not interested in, but in case you are, there you go. Next section. We'll start at the top. On the left there you see Hill Rock for $105. That's not Rock Hill. Rock Hill I would buy for $105. Hill Rock single malt whiskey I will not. Then you see all the Jeffersons across there, the same pick they had from before, and a variety of other things. Their prices, okay, I guess. Larcenies down here, this is a little bit mixed up, but it looks like they've got the B524 there for $73. The other stuff with the Christmas hats, I don't know. I don't know what the hats are for. Knob Creek 9 is there, the usual suspects. We get in Jack Daniels. I want to point this out. The Triple Mash is $2 higher than the Bonded and the Bonded Rye. It didn't used to be. Don't know why. Is Triple Mash selling better and they're running out? What's going on there? There's some more Jack Daniels, and then that bottom shelf that is back stock. Next section, there's some more Jeffersons. There's Lucky 7. That stuff is pricey. One of their bottles is really good, but I don't remember which one it is. And again, they're pretty pricey to take a risk. The Mackenzie stuff all the way there to the right, that's a distillery in the Finger Lakes that I was at. It's really a cool place to visit. I've got a couple bottles of their stuff, as you can see, at $39 and $43 and then $61. Not expensive. And that's, if you want somebody to take a chance on your bottle, you've got a nice bottle. The bottle has a nice story between the age, any kind of special finishes or bottle shape. You got to have it at a price that, folks are willing to just grab it and try it. And certainly $100 and up is not that, but these are good prices. Some more Knob Creek stuff. The Knob Creek Rye 10-year I don't have. And it's $70. I don't think that's a great price. That smoked maple, I see that a lot. It doesn't interest me. Now here's the one I completely blew it. This Eric LeGrand for $40 and it's signed. And I completely blew that. That's gotten white hot lately with some folks. And for $40, it's what I was just talking about. It's a great price, an interesting bottle. It's signed by the distiller. That's something that I definitely would have grabbed. Had I known the quality of it at all, I would have grabbed it. Johnny Drum and your Legion. I'm not into the Legion. I haven't heard good things about that. Moving down to the next shelf, Jim Beam. I have the 7-year. Those single barrel Jacks I have. They're pretty good prices on those single barrels and the barrel proofs. All right, here's some interesting stuff up here. The Joseph Magnus Sherry and Cognac cask. That's a great price at $85. Really good price. And even their regular price at $95 is better than I've seen. I've seen it most everywhere else for $100. So at $85, that's a good price. Sherry and cognac is not my wheelhouse, so I passed on it. The James Pepper I already have, so I didn't get that. That's $70. That's a good price. This Kentucky Owl at $99, I've seen this like $130. It's a good bottle, but not for that price. It's probably a $60, $70 bottle. To the right of that is some Mary Dowling. I like the story of this. Read some reviews on it. $60. It's probably worth $60. I didn't pick it up at the time because I was getting some other bottles, and this is not a known quantity to me. Usual suspects on Michter's. We're going to get into the new riff on the next slide. Good prices on the Michter's. I mean, you got your rye at $47. That's a good price. Jim Beam stuffs, etc. Nelson Brothers, not interested in. Merriman Green, they've got a selection here. Looks like one of the varieties is selling. But again, the prices are kind of high for me to just take a flyer on. The new Riff stuff, I picked up the 8-year, $80. It's a good price. The single barrel for $52, that's good price. The malted rye 6-year for $75, that's okay. The Nashville Barrel Company, both of those, Nashville Barrel Company, they're reliable. That's something that you could just pick up. The price is $80, good price. I already have the 6-year, so I didn't grab it. Again, my budget, so I didn't grab the 7-year rye. I don't know if I have the Noah's Mill. Old Elk, I passed on. Pinhooks we'll get in the next section. So then down here we've got Old Forester, the 100 proof rye. I just want to spotlight that for $27.99. That's a great price. I didn't pick it up because I was going to another store that I thought it might be cheaper. It wasn't cheaper. So next time I'm here, I'm going to get the Old Forester $28 100 proof rye. Moving across, there's the 1910, 1920. The Statesman seems to be at a good price at $48, and you don't see that everywhere. I didn't pick it up because the Statesman, it seems to be a polarizing expression. There's your bottom shelfers. We'll go to the next one here. We got some Penelope across the top there. The Toasted I did get, but not here. I got this. It was on sale here in PA for $59. Rabbit Holes, not big into that. Moving down, I've got the Pinhooks. That Pinhook 8-year for $90 might be something of interest to me, but let me know if you've got experience with Pinhooks. I read some good things about it. Nothing blowing the doors off, but tell me what you know about Pinhooks. The next couple I don't know. Pine Barrens, that's got to be a Jersey. It's a single malt. Then you got Peg Leg Poker. Don't know anything about that. The Willet, the Rowan's Creek, that's the one that I have. $44, that's okay. Rough Rider, I don't know anything about that, but those prices look pretty good if it's even a little bit decent. All right, moving down. I guess we'll start here on the right. The Starlight Blackberry is Starlight's best-selling flavor at $26. The Rittenhouse regular at $35, kind of high. I would like to see that under 30, but definitely under 35. I already have it, didn't need it. I'm not into these redemptions, but you can kind of see the prices there. There are the Redwood Empires. I have both of those in cast strength, so I didn't pick them up. And then the bottom shelf, the Old Grandad at $26.50. It's right now, it's on sale here in PA for I think $22, $23. The Old Overholt Bottle and Bond, that's a good price at $22. I was thinking about that, but again, with the budget, I passed. Next one. So you see up there, we got the Sazerac handle for $60. That's a pretty good price. The Sazerac 750 at $34. That's a little bit on the high side. Again, in PA, I think when they have it, so that's a key, right? Like if they have it at $27, $28. But when they don't have it, $34 isn't terrible. These ones across the top I don't know, except for that one on the right, the Tumbling Dice. I'll get into that on the next slide. Sourland Mountain, I don't know. If you know, let me know. Uncle Nearest Single Barrel, that's a store pick. I had a store pick from somewhere else, so I didn't get this one. It looks like that Uncle Nearest is signed on the bottom, and if you look to the right, the Savage and Cook is also signed. Joe Canals is getting some signed bottles in here, if that's something you're into. Moving down to Smoke Wagon, a small but decent selection down there. The store pick one, it's interesting because here in the aisle they have a coupon for $2 off that they don't have at the front of the store where all the picks are. I don't know much about any of these, but I do know the Uncut Unfiltered right here for $76. I got it for $62. So that's a high price, although that was maybe 6-8 months ago. The other thing to point out over here, and you may have heard about this, is the Stellum. You can see the price went down from 62 to 50. Barrel owns Stellum, and they're getting rid of the Stellum brand. So they're marking some stuff down. You can get some of their good stuff at cheap prices, and that's what this looks like. Next shelf. We're not going to get into the Woodfords on this slide. We'll do it on the next one. Wheelhouse, those are good prices. Very old Barton, if you're into that, for $24 seems to be a good price. All right, next one. There's the tumbling dice for $76. I don't know if that's a great price, but that's a great bottle. There's some Templeton stuff. You can see right here in the center the Travelers for $35. That's down from its original. Based on the reviews, I might pick that up closer to $30 than $35. All right, moving down, you've got your Widow Janes. That Baby Jane for $44 is a good price. It's a 10-year for $65. That's pretty good. The Whistle Pigs, I've had a 6-year bourbon. It turned out to be better than I thought. I just had to let it air out for a little bit. But there's the prices on some of those Whistle Pigs at 12 for $130. That small batch rye 10-year for $71. They've got the Whistle Pig 15 and 18 in the case, which you'll see later on. Yellowstone to me is not a whole lot special. They've got a $5 rebate. I'm not big into rebates. If you are, then you can get another $5 off. I do have the Toasted 100 proof. I wouldn't buy it again. There's your Woodford Reserves. There is their store pick for $49.99 with a $2 off. If they still have that next time I go, I'm going to pick that up for $47.99, $48. That's a great price for a store pick. Woodford Reserve Double Oak at $70. Well, it's a pick, but a regular Woodford Double Oak is a good value under $60, and I continue to see that from time to time. The last section here before we get into the stuff behind glass, the Willet Green Top there, it's not $149.99. That's the Westland to its left. The Willet there is $59.99, $60. That's a great price for that. I typically see that in the high 60s. There's your pot stills if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not. Wilderness Trail bourbons and ryes. Those are pretty decent prices. Some more Whistle Pigs. And then we're going to get into the Wild Turkey stuff. You know, your Long Branch for $39.99. That's a good price. The Rare Breed for $56. In PA, we can get that for $55 all the time. The Rye at $65. That's probably a good price. To the Russell's 10-year at $46. That's not bad. I checked them for the special code, the laser code LLNE20, and they didn't have it. Single barrel, I don't have the price there. Moving down, you've got the 101s. You know, that Handle Wild Turkey for $48.99. That's probably right where it should be. And lastly, we've got the case. I'm going to start at the bottom. I put two pictures together so you can see the whole case and be able to read it. There's reflections on the glass. I tried taking multiple shots. This is the best I could do, but you should be able to see everything. Starting at the bottom, I don't know why they have the empty 2-ounce glass bottles for $129 behind the lock case. Don't know why that's there. You've got airplane bottles of the Willets, $8 each. And I'm just addressing the bourbon in the room here. So there's some other stuff in here I'm not talking about, obviously. The Elijah Craig 18, that's at $190. That's about where Elijah Craig 18 is. It's hard to find. Then you've got a couple of Frank August, which I don't know a whole lot about. And then there's the single barrel that I told you about for $54.99 that I found one on the shelf. There's another 15 Stars. There's another Garrison Brothers. There's a Rare Perfection for $209, 15-year. I haven't heard great things about Rare Perfection for that price. Dickel I'm not interested in. And then there's a lot of these old St. Nick's, which we see a lot in the Pennsylvania stores, and they're just not moving. My buddy Tony, he says it's fine, but it's not worth anywhere near what they're charging for it. Then moving up, this shelf, we got to go to, so let's go to this slide up here so we can see. So I'm going to kind of slide back and forth. The Whistle Pig 15, as you can see here, they're asking $280 for it. That's a good price. It retails for $300. So $280 for the Whistle Pig 15 is a good price. Right next to it is the 18 for $640. That's a high price for even the best bourbons out there. I'll never spend that much for a Whistle Pig. Okay. You got some of the Woodford 700 mils back there for, it looks like, $166. The Jack Daniel's Sinatra is $170. So here's where it gets confusing on the price. I'm not sure what these Jeffersons are, because the $159.99 is for those Midnight Summer's Dram. So I am confused on the Jeffersons. The Master's Keep, it looks like there's a price tag above it for $329. Or that might be the one behind it. See, here's where it gets confusing. So I can't promise you on these prices. Or it could be $249. The Legion is definitely $220. I'm definitely not into Legion at any price, so pass on that. The last and most interesting top shelf is all the older stuff from barrel. So there's the Dovetail at 179, the gray box. The gray box of the whiskey is 230, the Seagrass 175, and the bourbon 175. Then you get into these peach boxes, 400 each for the bourbon, the Dovetail, and the Seagrass. And then you've got the Knob Creek 18 for 170. That's what it's going for around me. It's MSRP. And then you've got the Augusta Buckner for 163, which might be a good price. If I like the bottle of the 8, I might take a chance on this. And I hear the 8 is really, really good. That's all we've got for Joe Canals in Princeton, New Jersey. Here is their Instagram and their Facebook. Instagram is Whiskey Fairy 1011. And the Facebook is Joe_Canals. Can't tell you what that last letter or two is. Sorry about that. But that's their socials. That's Joe Canals in Princeton, New Jersey. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more of the Shelf Tour bourbon hunting in wherever that I get to. Subscribe, like, comment. We'll see you in the next one. Wow.